You walk into a motorcycle dealership and see massive showrooms packed with overpriced, heavy machines. The sales manager smiles, but behind closed doors, they are panicking. The 2027 motorcycle lineup is approaching. It brings aggressive Chinese superbikes, zero-maintenance electrics, and price-slashing naked bikes that will obliterate current dealer margins. Dealerships rely on you buying expensive, outdated inventory. Today, we expose 14 upcoming motorcycles that have the industry terrified. Number 1 is a budget adventure bike that will completely collapse the entry-level market. Let us begin. Number 14, Triumph Tiger 400. Starting our countdown at number 14 is a British machine targeting the entry-level adventure market. For years, European dealerships relied on convincing new riders to finance massive 800 cubic centimeter machines. The profit margins on those heavy middleweights pay the dealership rent. In 2027, Triumph is unleashing the Tiger 400. It utilizes the proven 398cc single-cylinder engine from the Speed 400, producing 40 horsepower and 28 pound-feet of torque. Triumph packed this punchy motor into a tall, capable adventure chassis featuring 9 inches of suspension travel and a 21-inch front wheel. Why does this make sales managers sweat? It cannibalizes their upgrades. When a new rider walks into a showroom, the salesman pushes them toward a 900cc flagship. The Tiger 400 delivers enough highway capability and dirt prowess that buyers will never feel the need to upgrade. It traps the customer in a low-margin price bracket. You get the premium European badge without signing a $15,000 loan. Think about what that means for the dealership business model. The entire upsell conversation collapses. The finance manager loses the interest revenue. The service department loses the premium labor fees. One bike at the right price point breaks the entire chain. And Triumph did not have to compromise a single thing to get there. Full suspension travel, premium badge, European engineering. The salesman has nowhere to hide. The Tiger kills the showroom upsell, but the electric dirt machine waiting at number 13 attacks the dealership where it hurts the most. Number 13, Can-Am Origin Electric. The secret to motorcycle dealership survival is the service department. They sell you the bike at a minimal profit, knowing you will return every season for $200 oil changes, expensive valve clearance checks, and costly chain replacements. The 2027 Can-Am Origin obliterates that recurring revenue model. Can-Am is returning to its two-wheeled roots with a full-size electric dual sport. The Origin features a massive battery pack integrated directly into the chassis and a liquid-cooled electric motor producing instant, silent torque. This machine makes dealers nervous because it demands zero mechanical maintenance. It features an enclosed silent chain bathed in oil. There is no exposed chain to clean. There are no spark plugs to replace. There is no clutch pack to burn out in the woods. You plug it into your garage wall, unplug it, and ride. The service manager loses thousands of dollars in recurring maintenance revenue over the lifespan of the bike. Dealerships despise electric motorcycles because they sever the financial tether between the rider and the mechanic. Every electric motorcycle sold is a customer the service bay will never see again. That is not a minor inconvenience. That is an existential threat to the dealership business model, and the Can-Am Origin makes it impossible to ignore. The Origin kills the service bay, but the Chinese entrant at number 12 undercuts a legendary Japanese segment. Number 12, Kove 800X Rally. Japanese dealerships built empires selling reliable middleweight adventure bikes like the Yamaha Tenere 700. They set the price floor, dictating exactly what you must pay for off-road competence. In 2027, a Chinese manufacturer named Kove is shattering that price floor with the 800X Rally. This is an aggressive, uncompromising dirt weapon. The Kove features a 799 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine producing 95 horsepower. But the specification that terrifies established brands is the weight. The 800X Rally weighs an astonishing 394 pounds wet. That is 40 pounds lighter than the Japanese competition while making 20 more horsepower. Kove achieved this by utilizing a magnesium engine cover, an aluminum frame, and a low-slung fuel tank that drops the center of gravity to the floor. Dealers fear this bike because it exposes the complacency of the legacy brands. Japanese middleweights have grown heavy and expensive. When a Chinese brand delivers a lighter, faster, and more capable rally bike for thousands of dollars less, the showroom salesman loses his leverage. He cannot justify the premium price tag for an inferior power-to-weight ratio. The numbers do not lie. The spec sheet destroys the argument before the salesman even opens his mouth. That is the most terrifying weapon a disruptor can carry into a market. Kove brings the heat to the dirt, but Honda is preparing a street brawler at number 11 that will devastate European margins. Number 11, Honda CB1000 Hornet. European dealerships survive by selling high-margin, exotic, hyper-naked motorcycles. If you want a naked bike with 150 horsepower, you expect to pay $20,000 for an Italian or Austrian machine. Honda is preparing to unleash the 2027 CB1000 Hornet, and it will decimate the European price monopoly. Honda took the legendary inline-4 engine from the CBR 1000RR Fireblade, retuned it for massive mid-range torque, and shoved it into a minimalist, stripped-down steel frame. It produces over 150 horsepower. The panic inside European dealerships centers on the rumored price tag. Honda is positioning the CB1000 Hornet as a budget-friendly leader bike. It threatens to undercut the established hyper-nakeds by thousands of dollars. Why buy a fragile Italian exotic with staggering maintenance bills when you can purchase Fireblade power wrapped in legendary Honda reliability for a fraction of the cost? The Hornet slashes the price floor for the leader class segment. Dealers will struggle to convince buyers to finance massive loans when Honda offers the exact same adrenaline hit for cheap. Honda's service reputation alone destroys the Italian value argument. Lower price, better reliability, identical performance. The European exotic market has no response to that combination, and every Honda dealer in Europe knows it. Honda redefines the hyper-naked class, but the retro machine waiting at number 10 steals the most profitable demographic in the industry. If you are tired of the motorcycle industry dictating inflated prices, hit that like button right now. It signals the algorithm that you value raw mechanical truth over glossy marketing campaigns. Number 10, Royal Enfield Bear, 650. Dealerships love the heritage lifestyle market. They sell classic-looking scramblers to urban riders for massive markups because buyers will pay a premium for vintage aesthetics. Brands like Ducati and Triumph dominate this high-margin space. Royal Enfield is dropping the 2027 Bear 650, and it will steal that entire demographic overnight. Royal Enfield took their proven 648 cubic centimeter air-cooled parallel twin engine, producing 47 horsepower, and wrapped it in authentic, rugged scrambler bodywork. It features wire-spoked wheels, high-mounted exhaust pipes, and a ribbed bench seat. This machine terrifies premium dealers because it delivers the exact same vintage aesthetic for half the price of a European scrambler. The target audience for these bikes does not care about high-end lap times or electronic suspension. They want a machine that looks incredible parked outside a coffee shop and handles dirt fire roads on Sunday. Royal Enfield provides that experience at a dirt cheap price. The premium dealerships will watch their lucrative lifestyle customers walk across the street to buy Indian manufactured iron. It proves that authentic heritage does not require a luxury tax. When the customer realizes that every dollar of that premium European price tag was paying for geography rather than engineering, the sale is over before it starts. The vintage market was always built on the assumption that authenticity required a European postcode. Royal Enfield just proved that assumption false with wire wheels and a bench seat that cost half the price. The Bear takes the vintage crowd, but the electric cruiser at number 9 threatens the most stubborn traditionalists on the planet. Number 9. Livewire S2. Harley-Davidson dealerships represent the old guard. They sell massive, rumbling V-twin cruisers to an aging demographic. They rely on the roar of the exhaust to move inventory. The 2027 Livewire S3 is an electric cruiser that bypasses the traditional Harley showroom entirely, and traditional dealers hate it. Livewire operates as an independent electric brand. The S2 utilizes the scalable aero architecture, incorporating the battery directly into the frame as a stressed structural member. This drops the weight dramatically. It delivers instant, silent, linear torque that leaves heavy gasoline cruisers sitting at the stoplight. Traditional dealers fear the S2 because it attracts a new generation of riders who refuse to buy a 900-pound gasoline bagger. These younger urban riders want lightweight, fast, tech-heavy machines. They do not care about heritage or chrome. Furthermore, the S2 requires 0 oil changes, 0 primary fluid swaps, and 0 belt adjustments. The traditional dealership loses its maintenance revenue and its cultural grip on the cruiser market simultaneously. The silent torque of the S2 represents the inevitable future they are fighting to delay. Every sale the S2 makes is a customer permanently removed from the traditional dealership ecosystem. Not just for this purchase, for life. The cruiser demographic skews older. When a younger generation adopts electric machines that never need service, dealerships face an aging customer base with no replacement cycle. The S2 does not just steal a sale, it signals a generational handoff that traditional dealers cannot win. Livewire challenges the cruiser establishment, but the massive Chinese superbike at number 8 targets the most prestigious racing brands on earth. Number 8. CF Moto 1000 SR V4. If you want a V4 superbike, you currently have to walk into an Italian dealership and spend $30,000. The V4 engine is the crown jewel of motorcycle engineering, reserved for the wealthy. In 2027, CF Moto is bringing a 209 horsepower Chinese V4 to the global market, and European executives are sweating. The CF Moto 1000 SR utilizes a custom-built, liquid-cooled V4 engine. Spy shots reveal carbon fiber winglets, single-sided swing arms, and premium Olin suspension components. CF Moto is building a legitimate, track-ready superbike. The fear centers on the price tag. Chinese manufacturers operate on razor-thin margins. If CF Moto unleashes a 209 horsepower track weapon that costs $10,000 less than an Aprilia or a Ducati, the premium market will shatter. For decades, European brands justified their massive prices by claiming exclusive ownership of high-end performance. The CF Moto 1000 SR proves that top-tier mechanical engineering is no longer restricted to Italy. When a Chinese superbike sets faster lap times than a machine costing twice as much, the European prestige tax becomes impossible to defend. Performance was the last argument the Italian brands had. The CF Moto 1000 SR takes that argument, puts it on a dyno, and produces a number that ends the conversation permanently. CF Moto attacks the track, but the Japanese refresh at number 7 destroys a massive secondary market. Number 7. Suzuki DRZ4S. For over 20 years, Suzuki sold the DRZ400 as a heavy, carbureted, outdated dual sport. Because they refused to update it, the used market became incredibly lucrative. Used motorcycle dealers bought and sold ancient DRZ models for massive profits because buyers had no modern alternative. The 2027 Suzuki DRZ4S completely erases that used market. Suzuki finally modernized the legend. The new DRZ4S features a redesigned 398 cubic centimeters, liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine with crisp, modern fuel injection. They added a modern twin-spar steel frame, fully adjustable KYB suspension, and switchable ABS. This refresh sends shockwaves through the used market. Dealerships sitting on stockpiles of old carbureted DRZ models are panicking. The moment the new fuel-injected model hits the showroom floor, the value of every used DRZ on the planet will plummet. Nobody will pay $5,000 for a 20-year-old carburetor design when a brand new fuel-injected masterpiece is available. The DRZ4S forces the entire industry to adapt, rendering decades of stagnant inventory completely obsolete overnight. Used bike dealers have been printing money on stale DRZ inventory for years. That entire secondary market evaporates the moment this bike ships. One announcement ends a 20-year gravy train. Suzuki updates a legend, but the German machine at number 6 exploits the premium badge for budget buyers. We are halfway through the list. Subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss a breakdown like this one. Number 6. BMW F450GS. BMW Motorrad built its reputation on the massive, heavy 1300cc GS adventure bikes. These flagships cost over $25,000 and generate massive profits. In 2027, BMW is introducing the F450 GS, and it poses a massive internal threat to their own sales numbers. The F450 GS features a brand new parallel twin engine producing 48 horsepower. It utilizes a lightweight tubular steel frame, rally-style suspension, and the iconic asymmetric BMW styling. It looks like a Dakar racer, but weighs under 400 pounds. Why does a cheap BMW scare BMW dealers? Because it exposes the truth about off-road riding. Massive leader bikes are terrible in deep mud and heavy sand. They are too heavy. When buyers test ride the nimble, lightweight 450 GS, they will realize it handles complex dirt trails significantly better than the massive flagship. Dealers fear that sensible riders will stop financing the massive, high-margin luxury bikes and downgrade to the capable, cheap middleweight. BMW is cannibalizing its own high-end market by offering a superior off-road tool at a budget price. The most dangerous competitor in the premium segment is always the manufacturer itself when it finally decides to compete on value. BMW just did exactly that. No competitor had to attack the GS lineup. BMW attacked it from the inside. When the brand that invented the adventure segment decides their own cheaper bike is better off-road than their flagship, the flagship is finished. BMW downsizes the adventure, but the Japanese redesign at number 5 replaces the most iconic track bike in history. Number 5. Yamaha YZF-R9. The 600 cubic centimeters inline-4 Supersport is dead. Emissions regulations and rising costs killed the legendary Yamaha R6. Dealerships lost their ultimate track day cash cow. In 2027, Yamaha is replacing it with the YZF-R9, and dealers are terrified of the transition. Instead of an inline-4, the R9 utilizes the 890cc P3 inline triple engine from the MT9. It produces 117 horsepower and massive amounts of low-end torque. Yamaha packed this triple into a rigid delta box frame with aggressive superbike aerodynamics. Dealers fear the purists. Motorcycle track riders are stubborn. They love the screaming, high RPM wail of an inline-4. Salesmen now have to convince these purists that a torquey 3-cylinder engine is a legitimate track weapon. If the consumer rejects the CP3 engine in a sport bike chassis, Yamaha dealers will lose their grip on the middleweight track segment to Aprilia and Triumph. The R9 represents a massive cultural shift in sport bike architecture. Dealerships must re-educate their buyers or face a catastrophic drop in sport bike sales. The sales floor conversation just became a philosophy lecture. That is not where motorcycle salesmen want to spend their afternoons. Yamaha gambles on the triple, but the Chinese machine at number 4 brings Italian design to the budget rack. Number 4, 𝐏𝐄𝐑 Motor SRK 1000 RC. European sport bikes sell on emotion. You pay a premium for the sculpted, aggressive Italian styling and the legendary racing pedigree. In 2027, the 𝐏𝐄𝐑 Motor SRK 1000 RC shatters that illusion. 𝐏𝐄𝐑 Motor is a massive Chinese manufacturing giant. They partnered directly with 𝐵𝐄𝐃𝐑 engineers to design the SRK 1000 RC. It features a 1078cc inline-4 engine, producing 144 horsepower. This machine terrifies European dealerships because it looks exactly like a premium Italian exotic. It features a single-sided swing arm, dual center exit exhausts, and stunning aerodynamic bodywork. It utilizes Marzocchi suspension and Brembo brakes. The panic arises from the origin tag. 𝐏𝐄𝐑 Motor will sell this stunning piece of Italian-designed engineering at a fraction of the cost of a traditional 𝐵𝐄𝐃𝐑 or Ducati. The aesthetic monopoly is broken. Dealerships can no longer rely on beautiful design to justify exorbitant price tags. The SRK 1000 RC proves that stunning, emotional motorcycle design can be mass-produced in China and sold for cheap. 𝐵𝐄𝐃𝐑 sold you the idea of Italian engineering. 𝐏𝐄𝐑 Motor took the actual engineers. The product that results from that transaction is indistinguishable at 60 miles per hour and half the price in the showroom. 𝐏𝐄𝐑 Motor steals the aesthetic. But the Austrian dirt weapon at number 3 renders massive adventure bikes completely pointless. Number 3, KTM 990 Adventure. KTM built its modern reputation on massive, terrifying 1290 super adventure bikes. These massive machines pull in premium prices. In 2027, KTM is launching the 990 Adventure, and it will kill the massive flagship market. The 990 utilizes the 𝐏𝐄𝐑 parallel twin engine, bored out to produce massive torque. KTM completely redesigned the chassis, narrowing the fuel tanks and drastically increasing the ground clearance. Spy shots reveal an aggressive rally tower fairing and massive WP Pro suspension components. Dealers are nervous because this middleweight is too good. The 990 Adventure offers more than enough horsepower for highway touring, but it is vastly lighter and more agile than the massive leader bikes in the dirt. It makes the $30,000 flagships obsolete. Why wrestle a 600-pound monster through a rock garden when the 990 dances over the terrain effortlessly? Dealerships know that serious off-road riders will abandon the expensive, heavy flagships and flock to the sharper, cheaper middleweight, killing the massive profit margins of the top tier. The best adventure bike is not the biggest one. It never was. The 990 is just the first machine expensive enough to make that point without anyone being able to dismiss it. KTM sharpens the scalpel, but the Japanese heavyweight at number 2 creates a massive overlap in the showroom. Number 2, Kawasaki Versys 1100. Dealerships despise model overlap. When a manufacturer produces 2 bikes that do the exact same job at different price points, the cheaper bike cannibalizes the expensive one. In 2027, Kawasaki is expanding the engine displacement of their sport touring line to create the Versys 1100, and it will ruin the sales of the supercharged H2 SX. The Versys 1100 features a massive 1,099 cc inline-4 engine. It delivers huge, naturally aspirated horsepower, comfortable upright ergonomics, and advanced radar-guided cruise control. The problem? Kawasaki already sells the Ninja H2 SX, a massive supercharged sport tourer that costs over $27,000. The new Versys 1100 will provide 90% of the touring capability, massive passing power, and the exact same electronic radar suite for significantly less money. Dealers fear the Versys will sit on the showroom floor next to the H2 SX and make the supercharged bike look like a ridiculous financial mistake. Sensible touring riders will take the cheaper, naturally aspirated engine every single time. The Versys 1100 represents an internal threat that will leave expensive, supercharged inventory gathering dust on the showroom floor. Superchargers are spectacular. So is keeping $6,000 in your bank account. When those two things sit side by side on a showroom floor, the supercharger loses every single time. Kawasaki fights itself, but the absolute ultimate threat to dealer margins sits at number 1. It is the cheapest, most capable entry-level machine ever built. If this list is making you question every motorcycle purchase you have ever made, drop a comment below telling us which bike on this list you would actually buy. We read every single one. Number 1, CF Moto 450 MT. The entry-level adventure market has been a stagnant pool of overpriced, under-equipped machines for a decade. Japanese brands sold basic, heavy dual sports with terrible suspension and demanded premium prices. The 2027 CF Moto 450 MT is a financial and mechanical wrecking ball that will completely collapse this segment. CF Moto built the ultimate budget dirt weapon. It utilizes a 449 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine featuring a 270-degree crankshaft. This uneven firing order gives it the low-end traction and throaty sound of a V-twin. It produces 44 horsepower, but the chassis specifications are what terrify the legacy dealerships. The 450 MT comes standard with fully adjustable KYB suspension, offering 8 inches of travel. It features tubeless, wire-spoked wheels, folding dirt mirrors, a massive TFT display, and Bosch ABS that can be disabled on the rear wheel for dirt sliding. Japanese dealerships sell bikes like the Honda CRF 300L Rally and the Kawasaki KLR 650. Those bikes have weak, non-adjustable suspension and basic LCD screens. CF Moto is selling a twin-cylinder, rally-ready machine with premium components for an aggressive, sub-$6,000 price tag. It makes the established Japanese entry-level bikes look like ancient farm equipment. Dealers rely on selling those outdated Japanese bikes to beginners. The CF Moto 450 MT exposes the absolute lack of innovation in the legacy brands. When a new rider compares the raw specifications, the CF Moto wins every single category while costing less. It completely redefines the value proposition of the entire motorcycle industry. Dealerships can no longer rely on brand loyalty to sell inferior hardware. The era of charging a premium for a worse product because the name on the tank is Japanese is over. The spec sheet does not care about legacy. It only cares about numbers. The motorcycle industry relies on your blind brand loyalty to sell inflated price tags. Stop playing their game. Look past the massive logos, ignore the showroom pressure, and focus on the raw engineering disrupting the market. Continue the ride and click on the next video. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video.